I'm delighted to be here this morning to present the 2009 Australian Crime and Violence Prevention Awards. These awards are a joint initiative of Australian state and territory governments and are co-sponsored by the Ministerial Council for Police and Emergency Management. The awards are a great opportunity to recognise the excellent and innovative work that's been undertaken in our community and in our police forces. There are some overriding themes among this year's winners: breaking the cycle of domestic and family violence, working with vulnerable young people, and the importance of partnerships between all levels of government and community organisations. It's a pleasure to be able to meet some of the people and organisations carrying out this important work here today. Events such as this give me a valuable opportunity to learn about the projects you create and the issues and obstacles you face in achieving your goals. The Australian Crime and Violence Prevention Awards recognise better practice in the prevention or reduction of violence and other types of crime in Australia, encourage public initiative and assist governments in identifying and developing practical projects that will reduce violence and other types of crime in the community. The awards also allow an opportunity to share ideas about the successful approaches and stimulate ideas in others to come up with their own innovative projects that could help reduce crime or violence. Crime and the fear of crime consistently rate amongst the highest concerns of the Australian public. The Australian Institute of Criminology has estimated that crime costs Australia around $36 billion per year. The Institute Research Survey of what Australians think about crime and justice, released earlier this year, showed 1 in 8 Australians viewed crime, drugs or terrorism as the most important issues facing the country today. The rationale for focusing on crime and violence prevention programs is that it is socially and economically better for the community to prevent people experiencing crime and violence than dealing with the consequences. The consequences for those who experience crime and violence reach far beyond physical injury, financial loss or property damage. Research suggests that psychological effects on people can be both chronic and severe and can profoundly affect how people function on a day-to-day level. In financial terms, the costs of crime include property losses, medical expenses and indirect costs to the community in support of the justice, health and welfare systems. It's important that programs such as those that will be recognised here today exist because they play a crucial role in preventing and protecting against crime and violence and reducing its impact upon people's lives. The Australian Government shares the community's concern about crime and violence and their impacts on people's lives. Although the states and territories have primary responsibility for the criminal justice system, the federal government undertakes a range of initiatives aimed at reducing the incidence of violence and other crime in Australia. The federal government has introduced a major people trafficking action plan, a large-scale community grants program to support families and communities, and the national plan to reduce violence against women and their children. The government has provided funding to Australian communities so they can address local crime and safety problems, including the $15 million Safer Suburbs plan to address crime and antisocial behaviour through community safety measures such as closed-circuit television systems and street lighting, and the $20 million Secure Schools program to address the security needs of at-risk government and non-government schools. The government's Proceeds of Crimes Act deprives criminals of proceeds of offences against Commonwealth law, and since its introduction in 2002 has now confiscated more than $60 million, which is being used to fund crime prevention and law enforcement measures nationally.